morning, everyone. This is Nelfa P. Adolfo. Today, I'm going to discuss to you about English for legal purposes. When we talk about English for legal purposes, it's an essential element of an agreement in contract law, whereby an agreement is legal and enforceable only if it is complies with the law of the land and public policy. Any agreement entered into for an illegal purpose is not legally binding. Now let's proceed about the origin of English for legal purpose. Legal English reflects the mixture of languages, which has produced the English language generally. However, it owes a particular depth to French and Latin. The Norman invasion of England in 166, French became the official language of England, although most ordinary people still spoke English.
Start.
For a period of early 300 years, French was the language of legal proceedings, with the result that many words in current legal use have their roots in this period. These include property, state, chattel, lease, executor, and tenant. During this period, Latin was the language of formal records and statutes. However, since only the learned were fluent in Latin, it never became the language of legal pleading or debate. Therefore, for several centuries following the Norman invasion, three languages were used in England. English remained the spoken language of the majority of the population, but almost all writing was in French or Latin. English was not used in legal matters. In 1356, the Statute of Pleading was enacted in French. It stated all legal proceedings should be in English but recorded in Latin. English was adopted for different kinds of legal documents at different times. Well, began to be written in Latin until about 1300, in French until 1485, in English and French for a few years ago, and in English alone from 1489. Now let's proceed about the terminologies, which means jargon. The first one of that is adjective law or procedural law. That means the area of the law that deals with procedural rules of evidence, pleading, and practice. For example, that we are going to use the word terminologies, which is adjective law. An adjective law refers to legal practice and procedure. Next, we have acknowledgement. First, a statement of acceptance of responsibility. Second meaning, the short declaration at the end of a writing showing that the instrument was duly executed and acknowledged. Like for example, the parties signing the document present a driver's license to the notary public who will sign and stamp that section of the document deemed the acknowledgement. Next, we have acquit. It means to set free or discharge, form an accusation of guilt of a crime or responsibility for a civil liability. Bearer. It means the person who has a document in their possession. Like for example, he rewarded the bearer before reading the note. Moot. A moot case or moot point is one not subject to judicial determination because it involves an abstract question or a pretended controversy that has not yet actually arisen or has already passed. Slander means a legal term that refers to a false, oral statement about an individual that harms his reputation or standing within the community. Like, for example, she is being sued for slander. Slander. It means used to express the idea of taking property from a person or place without just right, but not expressing the nature or quality of the wrong done. Like, for example, the soldiers continued plundering for days.